A very good evening and a warm welcome to the Business Roundup on our television. I am Pamudha Katagampala. Let's look at the key developments in the business arena for the going week. And before that, let's look at the top stories for today. Headline inflation increased by 0.8% in March compared to the previous month. Inland Revenue Department suffers with dishonored checks valued at 240 million rupees. Government plans elevated railway tracks connecting the country's commercial city with 4 major cities in Colombo. News in detail. Headline inflation as measured by the year-on-year change in the Colombo Consumer Price Index surged to 4.1% in March 2021 from 3.3% in February 2021 due to the statistical effect of the low base revealed in March 2020. This was revealed by a statement from Central Bank last week.
Meanwhile, food inflation increased to 9.6% in March 2021 from 7.9% in February 2021, while the non-food inflation increased to 1.8% in March 2021 from 1.3% in February 2021. The change in the CCPI measured on an annual average basis decreased to 4% in March 2021 from 4.1% in February 2021. Monthly change of CCPI recorded at minus 0.18% in March 2021. This was due to price decreases observed in items of the food category. Moreover, monthly changes of food and non-food categories recorded at minus 0.49% and 0.31% respectively in March 2021. Accordingly, within the food category, prices of vegetables, green chili, fresh fish and turmeric powder decreased in last month. Meanwhile, prices of items in the non-food category recorded an increase during the month, mainly due to price increases observed in the restaurant and hotel subcategory. The core inflation, which reflects the underlying inflation in the economy, increased to 3.1% in March 2021 from 2.6% in February 2021. The annual average core inflation remained unchanged at 3% in March 2021.
The Colombo District Livelihood Development Committee stresses that development activities in the Colombo District should be implemented with priority to protect the deteriorating environmental factors. This was taken into consideration at the Colombo District Livelihood Development Committee meeting held last week. Minister of Wildlife and Forest Conservation C.B. Ratnayake emphasises that an action plan needs to be implemented to identify tourist destinations in the face of the emerging urban-based Colombo district while protecting the environment. Minister Ratnayake said that in the process of making the Colombo district a blue-green city, a special action plan should be prepared to identify tourist hotspots and attract tourists to those places. The Colombo District Livelihood Development Committee also focused on Samurda recipients, home economic empowerment targeting Samurda recipients, community-based programs and strengthening financial institutions and service facilities and expanding self-employment opportunities. Addressing the gathering, State Minister of Samurdi, Sehan Semasingh, said that the provision of 7% loan facilities for Samurdi beneficiaries is already being implemented very successfully. He further stated that the 72,000 disabled people are already being provided with disability allowance and another 57,000 are on the waiting list. Steps are being taken to provide disability allowance to the people very soon. The Minister of Agriculture, Mahindananda Alutgamage, stated that a sum of 1 billion rupees has been allocated for the organic fertilizer preparation program. The committee also discussed about manufacturing organic fertilizer locally to increase that amount to 30% within the next year. As another step to protect the environment and to provide relief to the people, the government is already in the process of removing diesel power plants and setting up renewable power plants. The Ministry of Environment has taken steps to ban the production of 4 types of plastic and polythene-related products for local use. The ministry in a statement said that the use of the relevant products was banned in the country from 31st of March onwards. Accordingly, disposable polythene and plastic, polythene terephthalate bottles, lunch sheets less than 20 microns, sachets, non-medical cotton buds and inflatable plastic toys are included in the ban. Addressing a media briefing held at the Ministry of Environment last week, Environment Minister Mahinda Amarveera stated that the production of the above-mentioned plastic and polythene products for local use will be banned from March 31st. The minister said that considering the request made by several companies, the relevant products will be given a short period of 3 months to be marketed and no restrictions have been imposed on the export of these products. The minister said that these companies are entirely local companies, and even though some industrialists were aware that the ban would be imposed, new equipment has been imported and installed. However, the minister has further stated that a limited grace period will be given to sell only the products currently produced from the raw materials imported into the country. The minister pointed out that the relevant Gazette notification has been issued by now. As of 31st December 2020, the Inland Revenue Department has received 6,878 dishonored cheques valued at 240 million rupees. It was revealed at the Committee on Public Accounts held in Parliament premises recently.
The committee informed the officials of the Inland Revenue Department to take action to recover the money expeditiously. It was also revealed at the meeting that a case has been filed in the Colombo High Court regarding the recovery of 2,670 billion rupees in arrears of tax on the casino business. The Committee on Public Accounts has notified the Ministry of Finance to expedite the implementation of the Revenue Administration Management Information System under the Department of Inland Revenue in collaboration with relevant stakeholders. Arrangements are being made to include 29 institutions in the database of Revenue Administration Management. It was revealed at the committee meeting that 6 of these institutions have already joined this system, while by the 31st of December this year, 6 more institutions will be included in the Revenue Administration Management database. The committee also noted that the Central Bank of Sri Lanka should provide the guidelines requested for the inclusion of banks to the Revenue Administration Management databases in the country. Officials of the Ministry of Finance, Inland Revenue Department, National Audit Office, Treasury and other institutions included in system participated in the committee.
We'll be back with more news after this short break.
News, views, highlights, updates and opinions. This is Wake Up With Us.
State of Business, sponsored by
ඔබගේ ආදරණීය වාහනය ආදරයෙන් සුරකින්න ඉකු ටැබ්ලට්ස් භාවිතා කරන්න.
IWS Aviation.
Welcome back after the break. A report from the Tourism Ministry stated that Tourism Minister Prasanna Ranatunga has already begun discussions with provincial governors with a view to resolve the crisis over the tax gap between registered and unregistered institutions in levying provincial taxes on those engaged in the tourism sector.
The report shows that due to this huge tax gap, some are trying to evade paying taxes to the government, and the government loses a large amount of money annually, as some are operating institutions without being registered with the government. Thus, it is planned to encourage taxpayers at the provincial level through tax concessions. This includes facilitating the promotion of local product sales at tourist attractions, involving new entrepreneurs in tourism-related products, activating transport services to enable tourists to travel to tourist attractions within an hour related to motorcycle services, and canals, implementing boat services and launching awareness programs on pedestrian attractions. It is a common sight for tourists visiting the island to stay in urban areas, including Colombo, and it's hoped that this program will earn more foreign exchange for the country. The implementation of this new program expected to generate a large number of jobs and create a number of new entrepreneurial opportunities through the creation of a liquidity supply network. The reduction of provincial taxes is expected to attract more entrepreneurs at the provincial level for this process.
Co-cabinet spokesman Minister Uday Gammanpilla stated that the government has decided to construct 4 elevated railway tracks in the city of Colombo as a private-public joint venture. He revealed the project in the cabinet decision briefing held at the Government Information Department premises last week.
කොළඹ නාගරික කලාපයේ ආවරණය වන කණුමත ඉදිවන දුම්රිය මාර්ග පද්ධතියක් පෞද්ගලික සහ රාජ්‍ය හවුල් ව්‍යාපාරයක් ලෙස ආරම්භ කරන්නට එහි සමස්ත කොළඹ නාගරික කලාපයේම ආවරණය වෙන දුම්රිය මාර්ග 4ක් ඉදි වෙනවා. කොළඹ පවතින වාහන තදබදයට ප්‍රායෝගික විසඳුමක් විදියට රක්ත හරිත නීල දම් කියලා මෙම දුම්රිය මාර්ග නම් කරලා තියෙනවා. කිලෝමීටර් 42ක් දිග රක්ත දුම්රිය මාර්ගය රාගම සිට පිටකොටුව හරහා කොට්ටාව දක්වා දිවෙනවා. හරිත දුම්රිය මාර්ගය කිලෝමීටර් 28ක් දිගයි. ඒක මොරටුව සිට නාරහෙන් පිට හරහා කැලණිය දක්වා දිවෙනවා. ඒ වගේම කිලෝමීටර් 23ක් දිග නීල දුම්රිය මාර්ගය කොට්ටාව සිට ඉසුරුපාය හරහා හුණුපිටිය දක්වා දිවෙනවා. සිව්වන එක දම් දුම්රිය මාර්ගය වරාය නගරයේ සිට බොරැල්ල හරහා අතුරුගිරිය දක්වා දිවෙනවා.
Sri Lanka Export Development Board formulated a strategic framework to develop the boat building industry, paving way for another lucrative industry in the country. To enable the boat building industry to realise its full potential, the National Budget 2018 had allocated funds to develop a regulatory framework and infrastructure facilities for the industry. The National Export Strategy 5-year plan had identified boat building and its related services as one of the 5 key industries to expand Sri Lanka's export basket and increase the island's export earnings to $28 billion by 2022. The regulatory framework for developing the Sri Lankan boat manufacturing industry was officially handed over to the implementing agencies last week at the Ministry of Trade premises under the patronage of Trade Minister Bandula Gunawardena. The regulatory framework covers registrations, regulations and technical guidelines for all boat categories manufactured in the country as well as imports of boats to Sri Lanka except for the fishing boat category. Speaking in the occasion, Minister Gunawardena said that it was essential for Sri Lanka to adopt a strategy of production diversification, market diversification and introduction of innovative products to enhance the country's exports, thereby making the emerging sectors such as the boat industry to a higher level. Meanwhile, State Minister Jayantha Samaravira expressed his gratitude to the Export Development Board for formulating a strategic framework for the development of the boat building industry at a time when no one was paying attention to the boat manufacturing industry. Minister of Lands S.M. Chandrasena stated that a new mobile service binding modern technology will be launched throughout Sri Lanka to expedite and streamline land surveying. He said so while responding to a motion by members of the Parliamentary Consultative Committee on Lands which held in parliamentary premises recently.
Members of the Consultative Committee suggested that the land surveying process was being carried out in a very slow manner and therefore an effective program was needed and that it would be appropriate to bring a mobile service across Sri Lanka as soon as possible. Officials who were present at the meeting also said that the BIM Savia lands should be surveyed accurately and deeds should be issued soon. They also pointed out that people in this area is having problems in land surveying for bank loans from about 15 to 20 years. It was also proposed to issue deeds to other religious places such as temples without deeds. In particular, there are about 325 temples without proper deeds for their lands, while the officials also addressed a number of land issues in the Kilinochchi area. Attention was also given to reduction of fees charged for land surveying and the issues to be accepted by the government agencies in the measurement of private surveys were taken into consideration.
And with that, we will be winding up for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at 7:45 p.m. Take care and good night.